2014, Grace and Peace Presbyterian Church is reaching its 10th year milestone.
Yeah, we had an opportunity that God had given us.
Solid biblical teaching church.
Small enough where you kind of know everyone.
I would say that our church is the church of Christ.
I mean, we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, yet we have one purpose, and that purpose is to come to church and worship God.
Yeah, I did a mission trip down in the Great Bay of St. Louis, and I got to know people better.
We're not a church that is run by rules, or you gotta fit or be in a mold. It lives by the gospel of grace of Jesus Christ.
So I remember being an elder at Christ the King in Conshohocken, and Bill Make was wrapping up, I believe, a year of internship. He was our first intern at Christ the King.
I had known Bill before Christ the King. I had known Bill some down at 10th, and his heart for the lost was always obvious.
Bill always struck me as the kind of person who was level-headed and would be able to endure the ups and downs of church planting.
He came to the session a couple times telling us about his desire to plant a church near Limerick or Pottstown.
I remember Bill talking about how he had been raised in that area and how he felt like he really understood the people there and would be able to minister effectively to them.
Bill had obviously been called by the Lord to plant a church out in that area.
When Bill first came to us with the idea of Christ the King Church, helping him to plant a new church in the 422 corridor, I was excited about the idea, but I was a little concerned about whether or not our church could really pull it off.
And he said that he came to us at the end of the year and said he had raised half of the funds that he needed to plant this church.
We saw Bill's gift.
We had a fairly significant amount of money for a young church set aside in a building fund.
And we had an opportunity to fund this work.
We'd always envisioned saving and packing money away.
Cost of building in Conshohocken was prohibitive, and it was like, well, this is going to take many, many years.
At some point in that meeting, I remember Rex Anderson Jr. simply asking the question, is there any good reason why we would sit on this much money when we have a clear kingdom opportunity in front of us?
He gave up a lot of financial security in order to go into the ministry.
Bill came to faith later in life, and he would just talk to us about how much he really wanted to go back to the place where he had grown up and preach the gospel to the people there.
We knew his desire, we knew his gifts, we knew Renee, and what a wonderful wife and wonderful sister in the Lord she was, and her heart in this also.
When we all realized that there wasn't any good reason why we should continue to hold on to that money, instead of supporting the work that Bill was wanting to do, we voted to give that money to the work of Grace and Peace Church.
So I got volunteered to write the letter to the congregation about why we were diverting our funds to this new church plant.
We were able to get the congregation to agree to take that money and change some of it over into funding Bill to start the church.
Hi, I'm Gabe Santamaria, and I've been a member since we planted.
My name's Tim Russell, and I've been at Grace and Peace for about 7 years.
My name is Karen Thorpe, and I've been a member or involved in Grace and Peace for about 3.5 or 4 years.
Grace Craybill, and I've been a part of Grace and Peace almost from the beginning.
This is Brian Pepple. I've been going to Grace and Peace for about 10 years.
I would describe it as a true church.
Grace and Peace is a great small family church.
people really desire relationships with each other and are involved in other people's lives.
The people are alive when they come in to worship God.
And then it's a really friendly church and is consistently growing.
The first time we worshiped on a Sunday morning, we had 38 people, and now we have almost 100.
People are friendly.
If the church is small and you get to know more people more personally.
Great to watch our kids come in and be baptized as young children and grow up and just see them growing into people who know the Lord.
A really good group of people, mixed of age ranges, that is committed to worshiping God.
God is active in our midst. God is blessing His people.
We can love people that aren't our personal family and really get to know each other, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and still love people.
It's a great church.
Worshipful. That's how I would describe Grace and Peace.
It's very, very multifaceted church.
I feel so blessed to be a church that has this wonderful space to worship in.
People worship God in their individual lives. They worship God and we come together on a Sunday morning. And I think worshiping the Lord seems to be the emphasis at our church.
And is committed to fellowshipping with each other in a real deep and meaningful way.
It's awesome.
It's often said that churches exist where 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. But it's not that way. It's Grace and Peace.
I guess probably the biggest thing I've done in the past in serving the church was being part of a missions trip.
Teaching Sunday school to 4-year-olds.
Coordinating the year's events.
Involved in the Special Needs Committee.
I think everybody is willing to get involved and to serve the Lord in one sense or another at our church.
Doing the church bulletins for a number of years.
I serve as a deacon.
Helped out with some post-Katrina hurricane relief.
I am also involved in the choir during the worship service.
I serve the church by praying at home and at church.
I play the flute for our congregation when we sing songs.
Making sure the communion is prepared.
And in the women's committee with helping to lead Bible study groups.
And God has truly been active in this congregation.
I am a member of the deacon board.
We try and provide opportunities for kids.
Clean up the Bibles and put them away.
Ministry to women.
Sometimes I help set up the piano and the sound stuff.
I teach the junior high Sunday school classes.
We seem to have almost everyone willing to roll up their sleeves and get involved when the call comes.
Run a crew of people to put heating, venting, and air conditioning in somebody's house.
Home Bible studies, prayer.
Singing praises to our one and only God.
The one thing I would say to people who are watching this video is come and join us if you can. Come and join us and be part of a community that hears God's word preached and responds by saying, "Bless the Lord, O my soul."
It matters. I don't care.
What do you think about the orange seats in the gym?
They're uncomfortable and I don't like them.
Weird.
It's bad. It's so bad.
Orange chairs, brown chairs.
The orange chairs are pretty hideous.
Tan chairs.
It's antiquated.
They're straight out of 1978.
Creaky chairs and uncomfortable chairs.
Hate the orange chairs. Hate the orange chairs.
Love the orange seats.
I learned to tune out my surroundings when it calls for it.
I'm sure it had its purpose maybe 20 years ago.
Let's just sit in the wood seats.
Well, sometimes they can get to be cold in like the late winter.
They're a lot better than the brown ones.
In my opinion, should be, functional in the cold and in the summer and in the nice months,
All right, I just want to go